you know, every year we talk about, well, the tipping fee and assessment, and at 36 a ton, we're not the highest in the area.
Will that be reevaluated like in 6 months, Cindy? The tipping fee?
No, I just wanted to, you know, when we work on the budget,
I know, but
tonight, we're going to go away tonight with whether the board wants to leave the tipping fee the same for the next budget year or increase it. And we aren't going to revisit it in 6 months.
Okay. So it's either going to be decided tonight, one way or the other.
That's been tradition. Now, if we landfill 5,000 ton, we increase it from, say, $2 from 36 to 38, that generates another $10,000. The assessment, it's somewhat similar. If you take increased assessment by $2, you take that times the population of the county, 11,580, that generates 12,000.
When do we start using the new census then, or when does that come out?
We don't have those figures,
Okay.
but we haven't seen them. I don't know if you have.
I haven't seen it. But they'll be out by the start of the fiscal year, won't they? Good thing, maybe not. If that's the case, it'll be lower. Everybody will be lower, I would guess.
Well, good point. There's two reasons why, you know, personally, I'm kind of leaning towards leaving the assessment the same. The tipping fee is a user fee, and I like user fees better than the opposites.
I'm talking about the population, I'm
Yeah.
not talking about the tip, or the
Assessment.
but
Yeah.
by July 1st, we're gonna have new figures, and then people are gonna wonder if we're gonna use those or the old ones.
So to get away from, well, that doesn't get away from, well, we'll use the new figures, yeah, we'll have to use the new figures when we build the towns and rural basic. We'll use the new, more than likely use the new. This has never happened before. You've been on the board. What they do, 10 years.
That's been 10 years ago.
But, you know. So, what do you got? What are your feelings about the tipping fee? Do you want to leave it the same?
Does it appear realistic now?
Yeah, it's realistic. It's, you know, Cherokee and Carroll are the only neighboring landfills. And I think Cherokee presently is at 36. They landfill 3 times as much as we do. Carroll's at 40, I think. At least for Carroll County, the tipping fee is 40. Some of the counties that haul in, it's less than that. So.
Well, all we realistically have to have is enough to cover cost.
And cover our yearly cost and build a little bit of fund balance for, you know, the next time we need development money. And if, you know, I even wondered if we should have a line item or, you know, budget for machinery, you know, have a line item of 30,000, 40,000 for, you know, replacing the compactor and such.
Like depreciating out our equipment as we go every year, so when we replace it, we have the money. Is that what he's kind of talking about, or?
Well, no.
Like if you don't buy it 1 year, you still keep it?
We don't pay income tax, so the depreciation is it's a management tool, it's not a cost accounting tool. Right? I mean, wouldn't that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, in your company, you know,
Well,
if you pay tax,
like our city budget though, I mean, if we don't buy something, you know, like this year, if one of our departments, we don't buy equipment, we roll it over to the
Yeah.
next year. Is that kind of what Ivan's talking about, is just so many years set
Possibly,
something
yeah.
aside?
It makes for another account, for the last 25 years, we just.
I know depreciation isn't the right.
We haven't had
term,
we haven't had a separate account for machinery.
More replacement cost.
Like this year, we didn't budget for
Lower.
a loader or the fence, and we had enough funds, we absorbed that. You create a fund, it's a little bit more paperwork, it's another account. I don't,
Well, I think raising the tipping fee would probably be better than the per capita, because the way it looks, per capita is probably gonna go down. Sac County is probably gonna shrink. And like you said, it's a user fee, so I mean, that might encourage people to recycle more too, if they see that the landfill prices are going up.
yeah. So, yeah, germane to what other counties have tipping fees and assessments. A lot of counties don't have any assessment. I saw one this morning where they had zero assessment, and their tipping fee was $70. In fact, those maps kind of point, they kind of point out what some different counties do.
Still comes back to the same guy paying the bill.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion or questions on what I communicated as far as a 2% increase for 3 employees? Well, we make an attempt to set this budget. We don't always adhere to it 100%. Like the recycling cost, maybe we should scratch that 100,000 and put down 90.
That's the worst part of that, we have no idea. That's just a guess.
There's, we talked about before that, if we recycle 900 ton of recyclables at $20 a ton, that's 18,000. And near as I can tell from what I've been brought from the towns and Rudd, we have 25,000 in additional transportation cost above and beyond what we're currently doing. So 25 and 18, that's 43,000. And then we still have to address a dumpster in Sac City. I think you could do that. If somebody would probably do that for 10,000 a year. So you're looking at 50,000 as opposed to 90,000 plus 13. It's 103,000. I don't want to dwell on it, but that's a potential, potential savings to the agency. Mindful that we're, in April will be a year since we served notice on our contract. And John Winkleman stated that if the agency came up with a plan that would save a considerable amount of money, he wouldn't stand in our way. So anyway, I guess
I would entertain a motion to just leave it as it is right now. I think it looks good as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to really raise the tipping fees because I don't know if the town can afford it right now during this budget crunch.
$2, you'd probably landfill, 800 ton. 600 ton? Say you landfill as much as 1,000, I doubt if you do, but I'd say you landfill 600 or 800 ton, 800 times 2 is $1,600. Now, I don't know if you can absorb that, but, I'm one to gradually increase costs. If we don't try to address inflation here, or unless we can find a way to cut our costs significantly, I don't want to come up, I'll still be on the board probably in 4 years, and I don't want to come before your council and say, we're going to raise your assessment, we've got to raise another $150,000 for develop the next cell. You follow me, Steve?
Yeah, I know where you're coming from.
I just, sometimes little hiccups are better than big surprises. I don't know. That's why, personally, I'm in favor of raising the tipping fee and leaving the assessment alone, and raising the fuel from 15,000 to 20, and taking 10,000 off our recycling cost estimate. So the net effect is, our budget would be, proposed budget would be $650,207.
Dean.
Now, this is, and I should have said this earlier, this is just a step. We're approving a proposed budget. You take this back. I encourage you all to take this back to your respective councils, and we'll have a budget hearing next month at 7 o'clock before our business meeting at 7:30. That's kind of been our pattern or our history. So, we are approving, we're taking then we'll have a budget hearing. People from this board or people from the public can weigh in on this budget, and then the board will, if there's changes, the board will adopt it, and it'll be final then.
So we want to move 10,000 from the recycling cost to the fuel.
No, just change recycling costs from 100,000 to 90,000
Right, and the fuel goes up to 25?
to 20.
Oh, to 20, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, okay. Is there any further discussion? Gene?
Okay, so we've been paying this recycling cost. So if we decide to go to Carroll, that, each town's gonna have additional freight, but that tipping cost, is that gonna be a county expense, or is that just, okay?
Yeah, that's a good point. We've talked about it before. Sometimes that tipping fee, or the $20 a ton, or whatever the fee is, charged by, say, the recycler, that would be paid by this agency.
Out of here.
Yeah. And like we've talked about on several occasions, and if we would in fact save money, to me it would be logical to, instead of trying to figure out an equitable way to reimburse the 9 towns in the county, I think it would be easier to just leave it in our fund. And if for example it's significant, down the road, we might be able to reduce our assessment, or we might be able to drop our tipping fee back. That's, just like any time, any savings we generate, through our operation or management of the landfill, indirectly, those savings, go into our fund to help pay for future development costs and machinery.
The extra freight would be the town's responsibility.
And I think, unless somebody's got, that's just, there's different ways, we really can't take steps with our present budget because we don't know if we're going to do anything different. or we don't know how much we're gonna save exactly. Or if we're gonna save it.
I'd make a motion to raise the tipping fee to leave the assessment.
Is there a second to that motion?
What are you gonna raise it?
Raise it from 36 to 38?
Yeah, that's
That'd be $2.
what your figure's been thrown around so far.
You know, then in your same motion, do you want to just say you're approving the expense side of the budget also? You know, your motion
That's
kind
what
of
the
addresses.
change is of the 20,000 for fuel, 90,000 for the recycling cost.
Thank you,
And, yeah,
thanks.
I'll second.
Craig seconded that motion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. We'll set the budget hearing for 7 o'clock. And we'll highlight that in your support material next month. Be the 4th Tuesday of the month, which is 28.
Yeah, should be 28.
Okay.